Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez back here once again for another one of those Sunday editions of Behind the Mic. Yes, I know that Behind the Mic is a Saturday weekly episodic news show, but unfortunately, I was not home Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so it was not possible to do Behind the Mic. Of course, Thanksgiving festivities, you gotta spend the time with the family, and we took a trip outside of New York to Baltimore, Maryland. You went to the Washington, D.C., right? You saw the White House, the Capitol, all that fantastic stuff. You shook hands with Donald Trump, not really, but all that great stuff, you do it, and then you're right back home on Sunday, back to the usual weekly festivities. So that's why Behind the Mic was not uploaded on Saturday, but we are back here once again for Sunday, and usually when it is a Sunday edition of Behind the Mic, it is a better edition of Behind the Mic. I don't know why I do Behind the Mic on Saturday and not Sunday, because on Sunday it is the end of the week. We're talking about all the news stories of the week, and usually there's some big news stories that break Saturday afternoon or evening when Behind the Mic is already up, and I say, shit, I really wish I would have got that in Behind the Mic yesterday, but I mean, we're here on Sunday and we've got all the biggest news of the week, and there's a lot of news this week, particularly pertaining to the 2018, which, if I say myself, is looking tremendously better than what we've seen this past year in 2017. To say the least, this year, the 2017 pay-per-view schedule was absolutely awful, bro. I mean, holy shit. There's no reason to be getting pay-per-views between 2 and 3 weeks of each other. It is just useless. It takes away from all WWE storyline. And I feel like at this point we've just gotten accustomed to it. But we're going to discuss that further on Behind the Mic. Of course, we got a lot of big news stories this week on Behind the Mic. Before we do get into talking about what those news stories are and discussing those stories themselves, make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. It might not have been a lot of content this week, just your Raw and Smackdown review, and then of course Behind the Mic right now, but I can assure you that last week there was a whole load of content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Holy shit, more than you can count. We crossed the milestone 300 videos for you to go check out. Before it was over 250, now it's over 300 videos for you to go check out on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. So make sure to go check out all of those videos. You're going to be sitting there for a while if you go out on that venture. Just last week, this past Sunday, we were watching the Survivor Series. Very, very good stuff on the Survivor Series. Very, very bad stuff on the Survivor Series. For example, that 5-man commentary team. You already know the deal with that one. That was bullshit. But we're talking about the ups and the downs, the failures and the successes of the Survivor Series on the review that was uploaded last week on the channel last Sunday after Survivor Series 2017 went off the air. So make sure to go check that one out. As well as on Saturday, we had, of course, first of all, Behind the Mic episode number 45, where we were talking huge news. What is going to be your WWE Championship matchup going into WrestleMania 34? We're discussing that huge news right there. And as well on Saturday in the nighttime, we had NXT TakeOver War Games. And that was a fantastic edition of NXT TakeOver. All NXT TakeOvers are great to fantastic. And that one hit the bar right on the dot. Very good NXT TakeOver. And we were talking about that on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel after that show went off the air on Saturday. There were previewing predictions to those two shows, Survivor Series and NXT TakeOver War Games as well, if you want to go check out how my mindset was going into those shows. And of course that week was Raw and Smackdown reviews as well. So big week of uploads, that week on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. That was last week. And of course, this week you had your Raw and Smackdown reviews. Make sure to go check those out. We had Raw and Smackdown women being called up left and right, and of course, everything coming out of the Survivor Series. So make sure to go check out those Raw and Smackdown reviews. Doing pretty decently on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel right now. But of course, if you haven't seen it yet, you can help that cause. Make sure to go check that out. And of course, we have news right here on Behind the Mic. If you have not checked out all that other content, and if you enjoy that other content, if you enjoy what you're hearing here, make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Click on that like button, or like these hip kids are saying these days, smash that like button. And of course, make sure to comment what you think about each and every single one of these news stories. Speaking of these news stories, we've got some huge news on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Here today, you have Money in the Bank 2018. It is set to be a dual-branded pay-per-view, Raw and SmackDown. We're going to be talking about what that means for the WWE and the huge news that is. We have news on the real reason why so many female talents were called up to Raw and SmackDown this past week. I'm wondering that myself, so we're going to read that here today, and we're going to discuss that as well. SmackDown Live superstar is set to win the 2018 Royal Rumble. Who could it be? We're going to be talking about that here today. We have a huge update on AJ Styles and him possibly retiring in 2019. Ooh. We have a major update regarding Brock Lesnar's next main event match, of course, at the Royal Rumble. And we're going to be discussing who he could be facing and what's been going on with that. We have, and of course, early plans for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view coming up in 2018. Of course, that is on the road to WrestleMania. So we have huge news, mostly regarding 2018. We are at that tail end of the year. It's almost December, and we've got another new year to be looking forward to. So, of course, we're going to be talking about all that right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. So I'd like to ask a favor of you, and that is to stay tuned, because for now, we're going straight into the news stories. We start off with this news story on Money in the Bank 2018 being a dual-branded pay-per-view, and how this is going to... I'm going to be discussing how it should work out for WWE, because there, of course, are many ways they can fuck this up. But for the most part, I'm thinking this has a tremendous upside. Money in the Bank making it from Big 4 pay-per-views to a Big 5 pay-per-view in 2018. There are WWE rumors picking up with regards to Money in the Bank 2018 pay-per-view and a possible format change for the event. If true, it could generate even more rumors regarding the various WWE championships between the Raw and SmackDown Live rosters. Here are the latest details on what may be coming for next year's event featuring the popular Money in the Bank ladder matches. On Wednesday, PW Insider indicated that rumors suggest that the Money in the Bank 2018 event could be a pay-per-view for both the WWE Raw and SmackDown Live brands. The Professional Wrestling News site reported on the schedule of pay-per-views for 2018 and noted that Money in the Bank is the 5th co-branded event on the schedule. For 2017, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view was exclusively a SmackDown Live event. At this past year's edition of the event, SmackDown had 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches, with one of those a first ever women's edition of the match. Carmella won the event, but only due to her sidekick, James Ellsworth, or like I like to say, James Ellsworth won the first women's Money in the Bank, climbing the ladder and dropping the briefcase down to her as she was too hurt to make the climb herself. A second women's ladder match took place on a SmackDown episode after that, and Carmella won the briefcase again. As of right now, she's yet to cash in for a title shot. Baron Corbin won the men's edition of the ladder match for the SmackDown men's roster. He attempted to cash in during a match involving John Cena and Jinder Mahal weeks ago. However, Cena was able to prevent the Lone Wolf for making a successful cash-in. Corbin did win the United States Championship weeks ago as what many say is a consolation prize, a pity party, because, I mean, he was not able to successfully cash in the Money in the Bank, but he currently holds that title on the roster. The Money in the Bank pay-per-view had featured ladder matches for both brands since the first edition of the pay-per-view in 2010. It followed that format for the next 3 years before shifting to both brands being joined together. As of last year's WWE Draft, WWE began to have more brand-exclusive events and gave the Money in the Bank event to the Smackdown Live brand. If these WWE rumors are true, it could mean there will be more than a few ladder matches for briefcases containing contracts, or WWE may decide to have both brands compete in the same ladder match, which is what I want. It's always a possibility for WWE to allow the winning superstar to choose the title for which they want to contend. That could mean men's and women's ladder matches which feature both brand superstars, or if WWE keeps it by brands, they could really have 4 ladder matches with one for the men and women of each brand. With that said, most fans probably don't want to see that many ladder matches in one night, so 2 seems like the safe number as of now. Exactly my thoughts, bro. If you're going to do this, and if you want to do it right, there's no goddamn way that I want to see 4 Money in the Bank ladder matches in a single night. Because now you have this women's Money in the Bank ladder match. So there's no way you're going to have Raw Women's Money in the Bank. There's no way you're going to have a SmackDown Women's Money in the Bank. There's no way you're going to have a Men's SmackDown Money in the Bank and a Men's Raw Money in the Bank for 4 ladder matches in one night. It devalues the Money in the Bank ladder match. It fatigues the fucking audience. By the time we're at that 4th ladder match, we want to go home. By the time we're at the 3rd ladder match, we want to go home. 2 is that magical sweet spot number. And how do you do it? You have 3 women from SmackDown Live, 3 women from Monday Night Raw in one ladder match. Bam. Whoever wins that gets the challenge for the title of their choosing, not just for the title of their brand. Don't pull the bullshit that if they're part of SmackDown Live and they win the ladder match, they're fighting for that SmackDown Live women's title. Have it be so that if they're from SmackDown Live, they can choose from both Raw Women's Champion and SmackDown Live Women's Champion. Why? Because that makes it more unpredictable, and unpredictable is good. It's more exciting. The Money in the Bank ladder match, or the Money in the Bank cash-in, I should say, is one of the most exciting things that we see all year. Making it so they can challenge for either title makes it more unpredictable when it does happen, and therefore makes it an even more exciting moment. As for the men, you have it be the same thing with the titles, that they can fight for either the Universal Championship or the WWE Championship, and you have it be 4 men, since the men's division is clearly more stacked, 4 men from Raw and 4 men from SmackDown, and have it be an 8-man ladder match, Money in the Bank. There's no way I want to see 8 men from Raw in one match, and 8 men from SmackDown in another, and then 6 women from SmackDown in one match, and then 6 women from Raw in another, and you have that constitute as 4 Money in the Bank matches. You can combine them either way. There's not enough credible women on one brand to make a Money in the Bank ladder match must see. If you put 3 women from one brand that really look like they're going to win it, it's going to make the matchup even more exciting. Instead of having 6 women and 2 or 3 of those women are credible from this brand, and 3 you just completely know they're not going to win, having 3 women from one brand and 3 women from another who can viably win it is going to make it a more exciting match. Same thing with the men's brand. Instead of having 8 men from Raw and only 4 of those guys are going to viably win it, have it those 4 guys from Raw and those 4 guys from SmackDown who can viably win the Money in the Bank ladder match in one match, and that way you have 2 ladder matches on your show. It all works out absolutely perfectly. Nobody's burnt out watching this show. Then you can have your undercard matches, United States Championship, tag team titles, women's championship if you want. So all that great stuff right there. You can do it. You can do it. And this could viably be one of those big 5 pay-per-views. It works. It works. We've been talking about Money in the Bank being dual branded, and this is a very, very good idea. Hopefully WWE does go with this and this is not just a rumor. Hopefully, I think this is confirmed actually. So Money in the Bank seeming to be a very exciting pay-per-view in 2018. Dual branded is how Money in the Bank should be. I don't like that only one brand would get an opportunity at Money in the Bank. Really, it doesn't work like that. There should be excitement throughout all of the WWE. The Money in the Bank is one of the most unpredictable, most exciting things of the year, and that's the way it should be. It didn't feel as big this year with Smackdown Live being the only brand to get that. It should be a dual branded pay-per-view. That's the type of match Money in the Bank is. It really, really is like that. As a matter of fact, I think Money in the Bank shouldn't even be a pay-per-view, and I would have made Money in the Bank, I would have put that at WrestleMania, put a lot of guys who would otherwise be left out of WrestleMania in that Money in the Bank ladder match. That's what the Money in the Bank originally did. A lot of guys like Chris Jericho, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, who are going to be off of WrestleMania. I believe in 2005, Chris Jericho came up with the idea for a Money in the Bank ladder match, and that got put on WrestleMania, and all those guys got to be in WrestleMania. Why not do that again? Why does Money in the Bank need to be its own pay-per-view? I would actually replace it with King of the Ring. King of the Ring determines the number one contenders to SummerSlam, but of course, that isn't the case. But that's what I would have done, but myself, if I was booking the WWE. But Money in the Bank, no doubt about it, is one of the most exciting pay-per-views of the year. And I think in 2018, June, July, whenever the hell it comes on, is going to be a very exciting weekend. Especially if you have NXT TakeOver along with it. Money in the Bank is going to be very, very exciting. We move on here to this news story on AJ Styles and him possibly retiring and in 2019. In 2019 is what this article is saying. AJ Styles possibly set to retire in 2019. Holy shit, bro. AJ Styles is in the form of his life, showing everyone that he is the best wrestler in the world for the past 3 years. Styles is the current WWE Champion, and he is still in the prime of his career at the age of 40 years old. However, the phenomenal one has hinted in several interviews that he plans to retire in 2019 when he reaches the age of 42 years old. In an interview with FM 97.9 Houston last week, Styles talked about his life as a wrestler on the road and how hard it is for his family. The 40-year-old superstar revealed that he plans to retire in a couple of years and enjoy the fruits of his hard labor with his wife of 17 years, Wendy, and their 4 children, AJ, Avery, Albie, and Annie. The older you get, this is AJ Styles speaking, the older you get, the less energy you have to maintain it. It is what it is. But if you still have that drive and you can still do it, why not? Get in the gym and get it done and look good in the meantime. Work hard now, you enjoy it later. In a couple of years, I'll be able to catch every football game, every baseball game, every basketball game, cheerleading, gymnastics, whatever they're in. That's what AJ Styles said. According to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, AJ Styles has a contract until 2019, and it falls perfectly with his retirement age of 42 years old. Meltzer noted that it is rare for a wrestler to walk away from the business, and Styles could easily negotiate a lighter schedule for his next contract. Styles is currently earning big money while flourishing in his role in the WWE. The WWE has shown that they can rely on Styles to bring it in every night. Styles has been a company man since he joined the WWE in 2016. He put over Roman Reigns early in his WWE career before becoming WWE champion in his rookie year. Styles carried SmackDown Live after the brand split, wherein he had an amazing matchup with John Cena, or an amazing series of matches with John Cena, I should say. Styles continued in his second year with the WWE, stealing the show at WrestleMania 33 in a match against Shane McMahon. He then became a 2-time United States champion before winning his second WWE championship 2 weeks ago. Styles then put on a show at Survivor Series against Brock Lesnar, despite taking the loss. It should also be noted that Styles had an incredible match against Finn Balor at TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs after he filled in for Bray Wyatt. Styles flew from South America to get into the event. With his performance and dedication in the past 2 years, the WWE knows how valuable AJ Styles is to the company. It would not be surprised if the WWE extends the contract with Styles and possibly gives him a lighter schedule, just like what they gave to John Cena and Randy Orton. Nevertheless, it is up to Styles if he wants to continue wrestling past 2019. Now, this is an interesting situation because clearly AJ Styles is exactly what they call him, phenomenal. AJ Styles is one of the, if not the best in-ring performers in the world, and if not that, in the WWE. Holy shit, this guy is spectacular at what he does. And it's not even the amazing matches he's had against guys who can hold their own in that ring. The Kevin Owens, the Sami Zayns, the Dean Ambrose. It's not even the matches he's had against the likes of those guys. It's the matches he's had against those guys who he's carried to those great matches. The amount of names AJ Styles has carried to a great match. Roman Reigns in 2016, the series of matches they had were phenomenal. And I'm not saying Roman Reigns didn't contribute to that. Roman Reigns is a decent hand in the ring, but AJ Styles undoubtedly carried that matchup. The series of matches he had with John Cena. Now again, John Cena is a decent hand in the ring, but he is no ring general. He is no ring general. AJ Styles carried John Cena to a great matchup, and that was phenomenal. The matches he had with Brock Lesnar, the match he had with Brock Lesnar just this past Sunday at the Survivor Series, though that was a great match. And Brock Lesnar is not at the stage of his career where he's going to be putting on a 5-star classic, but what he did with AJ Styles at Sunday night at Survivor Series came pretty damn close to a 4.5-star match, if you ask me, bro. That was a great match. It told a great story. Jinder Mahal versus AJ Styles 2 weeks ago for the WWE Championship. Now, it wasn't the best match in the world, but I think you can agree with me that Jinder Mahal, in these 6-7 months that he's been WWE Championship, probably in his entire career, has not put on a good matchup. He's been passable to awful inside of that ring. And what he did with AJ Styles 2 weeks ago on Smackdown Live for that WWE Championship, that was a damn good match. And AJ Styles brought Jinder Mahal to that matchup. And that's when I'm highest on AJ Styles, when he's bringing people to these amazing matchups, to the matches of their careers, bro. That's what AJ Styles does. Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, perfect example. Shane McMahon isn't a regular in-ring performer. The matchup he had with AJ Styles, he didn't take any crazy bumps. He didn't do anything over the top. That was a wrestling match. But AJ Styles was able to bring Shane McMahon to a great match. I'm at the point where I think if we see an AJ Styles versus a cardboard cutout, we're going to be seeing a 5-star classic. That's really at the point that I am at. This guy is amazing inside of that ring. But there's one downside to that. He's 40 years old. He is 40 years old. He waited until he was 38 to come into the WWE. He did. And we could have seen some great matches with AJ Styles if he would have came in when he was like 28, 29, against guys like The Rock, Stone Cold maybe even, depending on when AJ Styles came in. I know he made his debut in WCW back in like 2000 or something like that, right? Or in 2001. He was in WCW, so he could have made his way into the WWE back then if things had gone right. And we could have seen matches like AJ Styles versus Kurt Angle, AJ Styles versus Shawn Michaels, Triple H in their prime. So all those great matches, and I would have loved to see those matches, but would AJ Styles really be the AJ Styles that we know today if he hadn't made his name outside of the indies? If he hadn't waited until he came in the position that he came into the WWE? Because even when he did come into the WWE, we were reading articles, rumors saying that Vince McMahon had his doubts about AJ Styles, and we were all collectively face-palming saying, how could you have your doubts about AJ Styles? And AJ Styles was quick to prove everybody wrong. We saw the matches he had with Cena, Jericho, Ambrose, and winning the WWE Championship within 1 year. This guy has pretty much done it all in the WWE in 1 year. 2 years now. It's absolutely crazy what AJ Styles has done. This guy has come to the WWE and he's made a name for himself. He has been the phenomenal AJ Styles, and I don't think anybody can argue that. But again, the guy is at 40 years old. He has a whole family. 4 kids, bro. 4 goddamn kids does AJ Styles have. Holy shit. John Cena's on a part-time schedule. He's at 40 years old right now. But John Cena's been in the WWE for 15 years. Randy Orton's at a part-time schedule. He's 38, but he's been in the WWE for 15 years. Brock Lesnar, if you combine all the years he's been in the WWE, he's been in the WWE for like 7 years. He is at a super part-time schedule, is Brock Lesnar. At the age that AJ Styles is at, he should be at a part-time schedule too. But AJ Styles made his name on the indies. He made his name on TNA, Impact Wrestling. And he's now making his name in the WWE. So, it's a difference there. Where he is now the same age as John Cena, and he's reaching the levels of success that John Cena had. AJ Styles is doing that now, where he's reaching all these levels of success. He's at 40 years old. He's at the same age of John Cena, but he's doing that now because he waited to come into the WWE, which many could say benefited his career inside the WWE in the long run. So if AJ Styles is going to retire in 2019, 2019 is going to be here in the blink of an eye. We can be losing AJ Styles in the blink of an eye. Do I think we're going to lose AJ Styles like that? No. I think by the time he's 42, which I don't know why, but seems to be the magical age for all these news reporters, right? I think by the age of 42, AJ Styles is going to be winding down to a lighter schedule. Maybe the schedule that Randy Orton is doing now, or Chris Jericho is doing now, because I mean, really at the age AJ Styles is at, you're really not going to see the quality of performance from a guy his age. You're really not. AJ Styles is putting on matches a guy half his age should be putting on. It's fucking crazy. It's like this guy has not aged. He found a magical fountain of youth that he's still able to do all this crazy shit inside that ring. But AJ Styles isn't going to be that athletic forever. Age is going to catch up to him, and if you continue to grind him this rigorous 300-day schedule that WWE has their superstars on, if you continue to grind him, you're going to lose that magic out of AJ Styles. So I think if you do go with this part-time schedule for the guy, it's significantly going to benefit him. It's going to allow him to go spend time with his family, as everybody has a right and should be able to. AJ Styles is going to benefit him. It's going to benefit his personal life. It's going to benefit his career. And in the long run, it's going to benefit WWE. AJ Styles is absolutely fantastic, and he's going to continue putting on amazing matches in the WWE. And hopefully, we see a lot more out of AJ Styles to come. I do not think he's retiring in 2019, but going into a part-time schedule. Let's move on here. And we move on here to Brock Lesnar and what he is going to be doing at the Royal Rumble in 2018. Now, this is a big news story because you have Finn Balor. There's news stories coming out that Finn Balor is now off the charts to face Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. That was the big rumor. Let's read this article and then we'll talk about it. Since Brock Lesnar captured the WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania 33, the Beast Incarnate has successfully defended the title against Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman throughout the year. He also just defeated AJ Styles in a champion versus champion match at WWE Survivor Series. Lesnar's next match is expected to take place at the WWE Royal Rumble, but his opponent still remains a mystery. For months, the expectation was that Finn Balor would finally receive his rematch with Brock Lesnar at the event. Unfortunately, it's been reported that WWE officials were never actually considering that match for Lesnar, and the powers that be have some other ideas for his next opponent. It's being reported that WWE officials haven't selected another opponent yet, but Braun Strowman remains the most likely choice for Lesnar. However, Vince McMahon is said to be against the idea of a rematch between Lesnar and Strowman, as he should be. Braun has already lost to Brock clean at WWE No Mercy. Another big loss to Lesnar would also serve to hurt him, especially with the feud developing with Triple H. Unfortunately, that doesn't leave Brock with many options considering Bray Wyatt is in the doghouse, the Shield is back, and everyone else would be a big step down. The only man who could become a viable option is Samoa Joe. The WWE Universe had high praise for his match against Lesnar at WWE Great Balls of Fire. Joe's stock rose a ton after the match with Brock, but he couldn't capitalize on it because of an injury shortly after WWE SummerSlam. Another match between the two heavyweights could assert Samoa Joe back into a prime position heading into WrestleMania season. As of this writing, Brock Lesnar is guaranteed to do something at the WWE Royal Rumble pay-per-view. It's too early for WWE officials to choose an opponent for him before the end of the year. There is a good chance he may not defend the WWE Universal title at the event at all, but his involvement is a guarantee. It's unlikely the WWE Universe will see Brock Lesnar again until January, so the fans will just have to wait and see. I think that your best option at this point is to go with Finn Balor. Now, there is a lot of controversy, especially this week, around Finn Balor, because there was a big report that came out and a rumor that caught a lot of fire, and it was that Vince McMahon didn't believe Finn Balor was over enough, and I emphasize over enough, to be fighting against Brock Lesnar, because that is absolutely bullshit. Finn Balor is over enough to be fighting Brock Lesnar. The whole week he's actually been tweeting out these cryptic messages, pretty much signaling to the WWE that he's over. A picture with all the crowd doing the Balor Club and raising their hands out as he does his entrance, a little emoji next to it, a poll he tweeted out where people were asked, who is the next opponent? Who would you like to see be the next opponent for Brock Lesnar? And Finn Balor won with a whopping 42%. And there were other people on that poll: Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, Triple H. And they were all down by a landslide. Triple H actually had more votes than Roman Reigns, bro. Absolutely crazy there. But he tweeted that out on his Twitter. He said, he was like, I'm over, in caps, this Thanksgiving dinner or some shit like that, right? So he's just been throwing subs all week on his Twitter to the WWE to imply that he's over. And I'm sure that the guy is over, bro. The Balor Club merch is huge. He gets a huge reaction on Raw each and every single week. The question is not if Finn Balor is over, because he is over. There's no doubt about that. The question is if Finn Balor is legitimate enough to face Brock Lesnar. Has he been booked like a legitimate threat to the Universal Championship reign of Brock Lesnar? And the answer to that question is no. Brock Lesnar is not legitimate. Or I should say, Finn Balor is not legitimate enough to face Brock Lesnar. He has not been booked as such. And if the article or the report would have said that Vince McMahon doesn't think Finn Balor is legitimate enough to face Brock Lesnar, then I would have agreed with you. I would have a different tone. But if Finn Balor is not over enough, and that is what Vince McMahon believes, then there's an entirely different problem there, because WWE goes around saying that Roman Reigns is quote-unquote over, but now you mean to tell me that Finn Balor is not over? That's a fucking lie. That is a straight up fucking lie. But as far as who Brock Lesnar's next opponent could be, and the possibilities mentioned in this article, Braun Strowman, hell fucking no. We already seen that, and WWE is trying their damnedest, bro, their damnedest to try to get Braun Strowman back to the position that he was in before he lost to Brock Lesnar. So now you mean to tell me he's going to be in another matchup and he's going to take another loss to Brock Lesnar and he's going to be knocked down that peg once more? You're telling me we're sitting through a feud between Braun Strowman and Kane for no fucking reason because Braun Strowman's just going to be knocked down a peg again? That makes no goddamn sense to me. If you're going to do Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar, and while you're at it, if you're going to do Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar, there should be a title change riddled all over that match. There should be a title change if you're going to do those two matches. Either one of those. Because if Samoa Joe takes that loss, he's going to be knocked down a peg in momentum. If Braun Strowman takes the loss, he's going to be knocked down a peg in momentum. Finn Balor right now has no fucking momentum. And you might as well, despite Finn Balor being not legitimate, despite all this fucking bullshit, you might as well throw Finn Balor at Brock Lesnar because it's a better option than transgender Bray Wyatt. It's a better option than taking momentum off of Braun Strowman. It's a better option than taking momentum off Samoa Joe. It's a better option than pulling Seth Rollins out of a tag team or out of a Shield stable to face Brock Lesnar and lose, and it will make no sense. At least the Finn Balor matchup is marketable. You have the Demon versus the Beast. At least the Finn Balor matchup has rhyme and reason to it. Even though Finn Balor is not legitimate, he still has the argument that he never lost the Universal Championship, and he is the first Universal Champion, and you have all that on your side. So it makes sense. It's marketable, but is it legitimate? Is it a matchup that I can realistically see going down and Finn Balor getting offense? No, I expect the matchup to go 3 minutes, and I expect it for Brock Lesnar to break Finn Balor in half, if I am being realistic here. I do not see Finn Balor getting a coup de grace on Brock Lesnar. I just do not see it happening. I do not see it going down the way the AJ Styles matchup went. I just can't, and that's because you, WWE, you have failed at booking Finn Balor like he's worth the shit. And therefore, this matchup is worth exactly that, a shit. So, there you go. There you go. There's really no option for Brock Lesnar going into the Royal Rumble, but if you had to choose once, if I had to pick the poison, it would have to be Finn Balor. That's what I'm saying right there. So those are the plans for Brock Lesnar currently going into the Royal Rumble. For now, we move on here, and we move on here to this goddamn story here with who is going to win the 2018 Royal Rumble. And right now it seems like WWE has their mind set on the right man winning the Royal Rumble matchup, because it is a current Smackdown Live superstar under the name of... Let's read the article and you can find out. Anyways, the WWE will hold the 2018 Royal Rumble at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia on January 28th. It is going to be a very big event because the WWE is going to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Royal Rumble. The winner of the match will earn a title opportunity either for the WWE or Universal Championship at WrestleMania 34. It has been rumored for quite some time now that the main event of WrestleMania 34 will be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. The WWE has been booking Lesnar as an unstoppable champion, making his F5 finisher as devastating as possible. The company is looking to crown Reigns another coronation for Roman Reigns crown Reigns as the face of the company for the 4th time in as many years. One of the ways to make Lesnar versus Reigns at WrestleMania 34 is to have the big dog win the 2018 Royal Rumble match, which sounds absolutely cancerous. It will be the second in Reigns' career, but the WWE should be cautious because Philadelphia fans have been very unkind to the quote-unquote guy. When Reigns won the 2014 Royal Rumble match in Philly, he was showered with boos by the crowd. The early elimination of crowd favorite Daniel Bryan did not help, as well as an appearance from The Rock, which still did not help. According to Cage Side Seats, the WWE is not expected to use the Royal Rumble match to set up the Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar match at WrestleMania 34, which is fantastic news. The report noted that it is likely that a Smackdown Live superstar is going to win the 2018 Royal Rumble match, and he will challenge for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 34. The current WWE Champion is AJ Styles, and he is expected to enter WrestleMania 34 with the title. Styles is set to defend the WWE Championship against Jinder Mahal, the modern-day failure Raha, as we call him here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, at Clash of Champions. A SmackDown Live exclusive pay-per-view next month, with Mahal facing Triple H at the live event in India next month, as well as the India show doing poor in ticket sales. It is possible that Styles will remain as the champion for a while. But which SmackDown Live star will win the 2018 Royal Rumble match? No name has been revealed just yet, but Shinsuke Nakamura is the current favorite. WrestleZone reported that Nakamura and Styles recently teased a WWE title match at WrestleMania 34 at a live event in Florence, Italy. Nakamura vs. Styles is a dream match for many, and it has a chance to steal the show at WrestleMania 34. However, it should be noted that these are still just rumors at the moment, and plans can change. The WWE has been changing their plans frequently in the past month, and it could happen again heading into the Royal Rumble event early next year. Shinsuke Nakamura is the perfect superstar to go into the Royal Rumble as the victor. No doubt about it, bro. No doubt about it. Everybody wants to see, and I mean everybody, and you gotta agree with me, everybody wants to see AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura at least a little bit, bro. You can be the most die-hard Roman Reigns fan, and if I went to you and presented you the match of AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship as the other matchup on the show, I'm pretty sure you'd shake my hands and say, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that, because that is, and everybody knows it, a fantastic wrestling matchup, and it's so easy to fucking book too, bro. All you need to do is keep Shinsuke Nakamura defeated from now until WrestleMania, probably even further than that, because if you do go into that matchup, I'm expecting Nakamura to win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. Hopefully WWE remains on course, wins the WWE Championship, and Nakamura isn't losing a WWE matchup until SummerSlam of next year, where hopefully he's losing that WWE Championship to a heel Bobby Roode. That's the way I'd book things. You'd have Shinsuke Nakamura maybe go into Clash of Champions and give this guy some fucking momentum, because he has none after that garbage feud with Jinder Mahal. I'm still laughing at Jinder Mahal, what Kurt Angle fucking called Jinder Mahal fucking how many weeks ago on Monday Night Raw. But his garbage feud with Jinder Mahal, right? His garbage feud with this guy completely demolished any momentum that Shinsuke Nakamura had coming into the WWE, or coming into the main roster, I should say. That completely destroyed that. So now you're at a point, you're at that Braun Strowman point, where Nakamura's been down a peg, and he hasn't just been knocked down a peg like Braun Strowman was. He's been knocked down all the fucking stairs, bro. He's got an injured fucking leg. He's in the goddamn hospital. And we have this guy on life support. That's what WWE's done with Shinsuke Nakamura, and now you gotta do something to fix that. You gotta get this guy on DDP yoga, bro. You really, really do. And what's a better way to do that? Have this guy get a win against Randy Orton. Maybe turn Randy Orton heel. Ooh, that's an interesting idea. Turn Randy Orton heel. Have this guy become the venomous viper that everybody knows and loves, because babyface Randy Orton is god fucking awful. Holy shit, is this guy cringe inducing. Holy shit, is this guy boring. He becomes from Randy Orton the Viper, Randy Orton to Randy Borton, bro. That's what happens to Randy Orton, but that's besides the point. Nakamura gets a win over Randy Orton over the Clash of Champions, maybe on Smackdown Live, gets a win over Kevin Owens. I don't want to give away that Kevin Owens or that Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn match just yet, because that's an amazing fucking matchup that should be captured. Its essence should be captured on WWE pay-per-view. So maybe he gets a win over Kevin Owens as I knock into something here. Maybe he gets a win over Dolph Ziggler. Maybe he gets a win over some other fucking clueless heel on SmackDown Live. Maybe a Baron Corbin, right? So he goes getting momentum into the Royal Rumble. Fingers start snapping. Heads start turning. Nakamura has some momentum again. Bam! He wins the Royal Rumble. You go into WrestleMania season. Elimination Chamber comes around. Maybe he gets a win over somebody on SmackDown Live. Don't ask who going into the Elimination Chamber, because I honestly don't know. Maybe do a fucking superstar shakeup and get somebody of fucking value on SmackDown Live. You could go into Elimination Chamber, maybe a little bit of Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Maybe a little bit of that action. And Shinsuke Nakamura gets a win over Samoa Joe going into WrestleMania, where he will eventually face your WWE Champion, AJ Styles. And of course, we see our dream match, Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, and Nakamura goes on to have a token WWE title reign, or not a token WWE title reign, a great WWE title reign, I should say, and he faces the likes of Bobby Roode, maybe Finn Balor's on SmackDown Live at that point, and heads start turning, fingers start rolling, and Nakamura becomes a great WWE superstar instead of the scrub he is right now. We move on here to the next news story, and it is of course on the Elimination Chamber. This is one of the best match types in the WWE, no doubt about it. In WWE, I should say, holy shit, WWE, yeah, that's gonna be a new one, right? Anyways, early plans for the Elimination Chamber going into 2018. The Raw exclusive Elimination Chamber pay-per-view is scheduled for February 25th, 2018 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Looks to have some major plans leading into WrestleMania 34 over the previous number of Elimination Chamber events. Some had featured title matches, while others have been number one contender matches for World Championships. The match in 2008 was tri-branded for Raw, SmackDown, and ECW, and concluded with The Undertaker winning his respective match to compete against Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship, and Triple H winning his respective match to compete against Randy Orton and John Cena for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 24. The most recent number one contender match occurred in February of 2013 when Jack Swagger defeated Chris Jericho, Daniel Bryan, Mark Henry, Kane, and Randy Orton to earn an opportunity to challenge Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger. Wow, is that a good one, right? Anyways, to challenge Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 29. The three following matches following this was Randy Orton retaining his WWE World Heavyweight Championship in 2014, The New Day retaining their Tag Team Championships in 2015, and Ryback winning the Intercontinental Championship for the first time also in 2015. This year, Bray Wyatt was able to defeat John Cena, The Miz, AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, and Baron Corbin to win his first and only WWE Championship, while the most recent one was a championship match that looks to be a change of plans for the event in 2018. Since the next Elimination Chamber will be Raw exclusive, the belief is it will be a #1 contender match once again. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Roman Reigns could be the winner of this match if someone from Smackdown Live wins the Royal Rumble. However, if a person from Raw wins the 30-man elimination match, they could set up a multi-person match for the Universal Championship, which I doubt is going to happen. When Bray Wyatt won the WWE Championship at the most recent Elimination Chamber match, it was essentially a part of the angle where Randy Orton became a member of the Wyatt family and would eventually leave the faction and challenge Wyatt for the title. Orton would win the title at WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, Florida, making Wyatt a placeholder for Orton's Royal Rumble win. And with the match still locked in to be Reigns versus Lesnar in New Orleans on April 8th, a SmackDown Live roster member winning the Royal Rumble would be a strong foreshadowing of what to expect at Elimination Chamber and subsequently WrestleMania 34. Yeah, Roman Reigns is going to win the Elimination Chamber. You're going to throw guys like Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, maybe Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. You're going to throw a bunch of Raw guys, Finn Balor, right? Bray Wyatt maybe, into that Elimination Chamber. And Roman Reigns is going to come out the winner. Roman Reigns is going to come out the winner, and you're going to have Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 34. No doubt about it. I mean, that's what Brock Lesnar has been building to all this fucking time. It's in Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. And I mean, we're gonna fucking have to deal with the torture that is going to be that match, that feud, and I mean, WWE. WWE for you, bro. There's nothing you can do about it. The last Elimination Chamber was a lot more exciting. Bray Wyatt won the WWE Championship. Everything was looking fucking awesome going into WrestleMania 33 with Bray Wyatt as the WWE Champion and Randy Orton in this feud, right? And then it started dying down and becoming boring, and there was no stipulation on this match, and you started doing all this crazy shit in the fucking ring, and it was mediocre, and it led to nothing, so that was pretty much it. But, I mean, Elimination Chamber is always an exciting pay-per-view. This year, it's not going to be so much of that because Roman Reigns is going to be winning your Elimination Chamber. I'm interested to see if they're going to use the new revised Elimination Chamber or they're going to go back to the old one. I'm actually interested to see that. There's rumors that there could be a women's Elimination Chamber coming, so maybe they'll do that. If they're expecting some fatalities inside that ring, the Elimination Chamber would definitely be a place for that. So, I don't know, but it's going to be very interesting to see the Elimination Chamber coming in 2018. But that's pretty much all for it. We're actually going to cut the reason why the women came to Raw and SmackDown. We're going to cut that, and we're going to be discussing that probably on Raw and SmackDown over the next couple weeks, because there are time constraints on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel and Behind the Mic, and we must oblige to those time constraints. So for now, we move on to the closing segments of Behind the Mic. So for now, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for Behind the Mic episode number 46. I hope you enjoyed each and every single thing that you heard on this episode of Behind the Mic. Like I said at the beginning of the video, make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, because there is so much other content to go check out. Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, pay-per-view reviews, NXT TakeOver special reviews, Behind the Mic each and every single Saturday, preview and predictions to all pay-per-views and NXT TakeOver specials, and so much other content right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. For now, that is pretty much all I have for you. Make sure to subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. I do not know what you are waiting for. If you enjoyed what you heard here, make sure to smash that like button. And of course, comment what you thought of all these news stories right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Because for now, this has been Joel Perez of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. And for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. I will see you tomorrow for your Monday Night Raw review. Thank you very, very much for watching this video.